Joining us now, the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem. Welcome, Madam Secretary. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for inviting me, Lawrence.
So, Madam Secretary, I'm enjoying this showdown because the Supreme Court essentially gave the courts some authority as it relates to coming up with an agreement, but it didn't say that the court could do foreign policy. In your latest filing, I found something very interesting from it. This is you, the plaintiff. This is your court filing. It says the plaintiff invite the court to exceed its own authority in the precise sort of way the Supreme Court cautioned them against. This court should decline that invitation. So it's saying if you keep getting out of line, then we'll just let the Supreme Court deal with you. Is that y'all's position?
Yes, I think that what the Supreme Court said here in this decision was a very clear message to other judges across this country, is that stop acting like you have the authority to dictate foreign policy and national security decisions that the president is making to protect its citizens. So this was just one of those examples of an individual that, was an MS-13 gang member, had multiple charges and encounters with the individuals here. Trafficking in his background, was found with other MS-13 gang members, very dangerous person. And what the liberal left and the fake news are doing to turn him into a media darling is sickening. We need to stop doing this, stop allowing liberal judges to try to dictate what President Trump is doing to make America safe again. So I'm grateful for the Supreme Court's decision, and I'm hopeful that we can have a new path forward where the president and his powers are recognized.
This judge has said that he wants daily updates.
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't we be focused on the updates of the American people on the day-to-day that are being victimized by these criminal aliens?
Absolutely. That's what we get up every single day to make sure that we are doing, Lawrence. It's amazing what President Trump has already done by closing down the border, making sure we're enforcing our federal laws, doing all we can to identify those that are in this country that don't belong here, that are committing crimes, and we're continuing to enact policies that will give us the chance to do that. You've had quite a bit of discussion on Real ID and its implementation here in the country, and the reason that Real ID is being enforced is because it's a federal law. Joe Biden kicked the can to May 7th, and this Real ID is going to just empower the states to make sure we're checking people's residences. Their current legal status will be verified. We're going to make sure that people who are getting Social Security numbers in this country aren't voting in states. The states have the power and the information to ensure election integrity. And here at the federal level, that information is not going to be any biometric information. It'll just allow people to get an ID that they should be on our planes. They should be people that are United States residencies, and that legal status will be checked. So it'll allow us to get more information to states so that they're making sure that they're protecting their election laws as well.
So, Madam Secretary, what's the confusion on this? Because I've heard some women say that this is very difficult for them. I actually checked. Apparently, in the state of Texas, already have a Real ID. I didn't even know it was given to me.
Yeah, it's interesting, Lawrence. You know, some of the most conservative states are the first ones to put it in place because they recognized. South Dakota was the first state to do it. Florida, Texas. We already have 81% compliance of all travelers already have a Real ID. And already use it. So that's why TSA is working so hard to educate people ahead of the deadline to get that other small percentage educated so that it can be operated and put into place smoothly to ensure that people who are on traveling in our country, that we know who they are, that they live here, that we know what their legal status is, and that we can make sure we share that information and states have that information. We want the states to be compliant in this, which is a database that they have access to that the federal government doesn't use for any purposes.
So, Madam Secretary, Antonio Gracias, who works under Elon Musk, is reportedly going to lead this specialized DOJ immigration task force to help you develop some infrastructure within your department. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I've met Antonio, and he's brilliant. He's going to be working to make sure that individuals who got Social Security numbers in this country should be using them for the right things, and they shouldn't be on our benefit programs. We have over 6,000 individuals that have been identified through their work already that have been on the terrorist watch list, that they are known criminals.
How does that happen, Madam Secretary? How does that happen?
It happens when you put a train wreck like Joe Biden in the White House, and it's going to be a lot of work to clean it up. But just in the last 4.5 years, we've had over 9 million people get Social Security numbers that are not U.S. citizens. So they may be people who have some sort of legal status, but a lot of them are illegals that were given a Social Security number in just the last 4.5 years. That we're going to have to figure out if they should be here, if they are here legally under a program, and if they are here illegally, then they certainly shouldn't be using that Social Security number to be on our programs, and they should be removed or given the opportunity to go home on their own. That's the one thing President Trump would like, is everybody to be given the opportunity to go home if they would wish to.
And real quickly, I only got about 30 seconds, Madam Secretary. This meeting between the El Salvadorian president and President Donald Trump, does that indicate that the flights will continue, that the deportation, that you guys aren't going to allow the courts to stop you?
Well, I think the conversation is going to be extremely beneficial. El Salvador's been a fantastic partner. And when I was in El Salvador visiting with President Bukele, we talked about the fact that he would accept more flights, would accept more individuals into CCOT. So I'm looking forward to that partnership continuing.
Secretary Kristi Noem, thank you so much for joining the program.
Yes, thank you, Lawrence.
Appreciate you.